Hello, good evening, everyone. Uh, can someone confirm that my voice is clear? Ronnie, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anybody with a question as we wait for others to join? And I believe that you have downloaded the exercise data set. There is a data set that I have sent in the WhatsApp group. In the meantime, you can just download it and add it in your working directory or folder. Are you guys able to see my screen? Also, someone to confirm if from your side you can see my screen. Any person to confirm? Kevin?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Let me just. Today I'm using my VS Code. For those who are wondering which kind of editor is this one, I think my Jupyter failed to launch. It's having some errors. It's having some issues. So for today's lecture, I'll just use my favorite editor. So any question? There is a question from Pashamai. Unmute your mic. You can just unmute your mic and ask.
Okay. I have a concern from yesterday class.
Okay.
So I had a challenge. My laptop was not working yesterday, so I was just following the class, and when I resolved the problem, I tried to import the file that's CSV, but it was telling me that the file is not found.
Oh, okay. Which editor are you using? The Anaconda or the Colab?
The Anaconda.
Or using? Okay. Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just solve that as we wait for others to join. Kese, do you have a question?
No, no, no.
Okay.
Mhm.
So where are your files? Pashamai.
I'm still waiting it to load.
Okay, okay. Any other person with an issue?
Yes,
What issue
it
do
is
you
still
have?
loading.
Yours is still loading. Any other person with an issue? And we can see your screen. Can you expand your screen? Pashamai. Pashamai, your computer is very slow.
I don't know what is the problem because it is still loading.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay, okay. Can you stop sharing for a while?
can I give it time?
Yeah, you can just stop sharing. We give it time. Any other person with a question?
Yes.
Pashamai, let's give your computer time so that it can just load the. You will let me know after it has finished. Any other person with an issue? Okay. Let me just- So if there is no question, we can just continue with the last part of pandas. There is a bit that we left yesterday, so that we can continue with the other library, Numpy. Yesterday we covered a lot about pandas, and we left. I think we were just at a point where we were cleaning data of wrong format, if I'm not wrong. Someone can just confirm that. For those who left, I think we were at this point. Here we were trying to clean data of wrong format. So today I sent you a data set, a certain data set called exercise underscore data dot csv. That is the file that I want us to use uh, from now. So for those who had already who are reading the data.csv file, you can just change that to exercises underscore data.csv file, as I have done here. Let me show you my code is just below here. So yeah, it's just here. So you will have df is equals to pd dot read csv, then that parenthesis, then exercises underscore data.csv. I think everybody should be able to do that. Before even converting, I can just comment out these. Is everybody able to read this dataset? Except Pashamai. Eric,
Yes.
oh, you're good.
Yes.
Okay. Kese, are you able to read the dataset? If you're able to read the dataset, you can just write in the in-call messages. I want to know people who are able to read that dataset. And Nathan is able. Abiola, Abiola, are you able to read the dataset? I think silence means that we are able to read the dataset. Abiola, you
Yes,
can,
yes.
yeah, are you able to read the dataset? The exercises?
I'm trying.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
still trying to work on it,
okay,
but I'm experiencing some challenges.
okay. What challenges? So Emmanuel is good. You can just confirm that you're able to read that dataset so that we can move together. Any other person who? Suma? Suma, are you able to read the dataset? Suma is good. Victor, I hope today you don't have issues. Good, 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 good. I think we are together now. We can just move forward. I think after reading the dataset, this is what you can see. We have the exercise type and duration, and we can have the calories burned after exercising, swimming for this duration of time, and we have the heart rate column, and at last we have the date. So yesterday I introduced you to, you can just check the information about this dataset by using the info, the info, the info function. Let me just use it here. Let's just check. Let's just try to print out our date, our date column, and you can see that we have a null at 97. I think you can just let's just print out the first 20. Let's just do a print. We were using the df dot head function, and then we pass maybe 20 rows. I think we are able to read the first 20. Let's just see the number of rows that have the null values. I can see we have that is row number 12 has a null value at the date, and at 6 also we have a null value. I think everybody can see that from his data set. And what I want us to do is just we can just drop. Let's just try to drop these rows with null type, with null, I mean null date. And who can recall how you are doing that? I want to drop all the rows with null date. I think I'll choose someone. Any person?
Excuse?
Yes.
Which data sets are you using?
There is a data set that I sent in the group that is called exercise underscore data.
Okay, let me check, because the one I am opening is for calories.
You can just check.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, any person who can who is able to drop, or who will just guide us on how to drop the null rows in our data set. I think we covered that yesterday, and I think everybody should be remembering that. So who will help us before I choose a random person? I need to drop this row 6 and row 12 and any other row that is having a null data, null data. Which function are you using? Casey?
No, actually, sikuattend yote.
Oh, what did that part? Victor, are you able to remind us?
Yes.
Are you able to remind us how you are dropping column rows with data with null data?
I think we were using drop na function.
The drop now function.
Yes.
Okay. You can just guide us on how to do that so that we can. So we print.
We print. First of all, we create a new data function. Df is equals to df dot drop na function.
Okay. Let's just have a df dot drop now function.
Yes.
Then we pass.
inside that dropner function,
Yes.
I think you pass the values that you want to drop or what you want to drop. Any null value.
The 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 column
Yes.
date. That way.
Yes.
Is that the correct syntax? We have an error. We have an error there. I need person who will be able to remember the syntax for dropping a null value within a specific column. I just want to see you guys if you are following. Or can you rectify that, Victor?
Let me see. Print dot date. Lucy, assist me.
It should be like this. Let's check. Okay, we are taking the print df dot drop now, and then we're just taking our. Oh, in fact, this one was supposed df. Then we pass in our. Can we rerun this? We will not able to drop. Let me see the error that we are getting. Drop now takes one position argument, but was given two. I think you can just counter check the correct syntax. It's just right above here. The drop now. Just somewhere above here. We have the fill. I think you guys should practice on this. There is the df drop now, just right here. Yeah, it's just right here. The drop. We are just dropping. We have our new df is equals to df. We just pass in our df dot the drop now function here. I think that is that. Let's just try to drop that. Yeah. And we are going to use these two. Let me just copy this. So this is how we go about it. Let's check this. Let's just write it afresh here. we can just say this is our new df, which is equals to df, and then we pass our date column, and then this but it shouldn't be is equals, it should be dot our function, the one that we want to use, that is the drop now function, and then what you want to replace. We want to replace all the values, all the null values. So first of all, we have to specify our column here, and then we just use that function. I guess we should be able now to print out that. Let me just use it here, new df underscore, and let's just check out this. Don't know why it's not. Let me just print out the df info. I need to check something here. Is this code running? We are just having some issues. Column null count. Let's see this. Yeah, I think it is running. We can see. We have a range index of 1 or 2 entries, 0, that is 0 to 101. We have columns of 5 columns, and how comes that we are not able to read the null values? And I can just change this data set to, let me just check. Let me use a different data set just to counter check. I want to counter check this. Good. With this data set, we have a null value at line 17, and let's just print the new df here. Oops, even this one we are not able to drop the null. Is there someone who can see the issue?
Yes, James, I've managed to drop line 6 and line 12.
So what are we missing?
Let me confirm. Where there is, let me see print.
We have our print here, just below.
Not print, the next print.
This one. We have the info.
info is, I think it's supposed to bring the information. The last print new df.
Okay.
The last line.
Yeah.
Yes, it is print new df dot to string.
To string. I don't think
Yes.
that should bring some issues, though. Then what are we missing in this new DF here?
On that new df, mine, I just left it that way.
Okay, let me check if my but still in my data. Okay, still in my data set it cannot drop that line 17. So okay, any other person who is this is the right syntax, by the way. So any other person who is experiencing the same issue?
But James, I think the data you are using is different from the one.
I think either
You're
data.
using data.
Yes, I'm using data.
Yes. Oh, on my side, I'm using the current one, the one you sent today.
Or the exercise data.
Yes.
Let me just underscore data. Let's just check through this. I think not yet. Let me just
Can I share my screen so that you can guide?
let me just try to add a cell here so that maybe I can just confirm something here. Because this is the right syntax. Where is that cell? And I can just write the code again. There is no. We just delete these. So we can just import
And,
pandas is pd. Oh shit. And then good. Then we can just the part for loading dataset is we can have df is equals to pd dot read underscore csv
read.
file. So we're just reading the exercises underscore data dot csv file. Now drop in null values. So we do that by taking our df, or we can just write new underscore df is equals to df dot drop now. And then we can just try to print out these. New df. I think everybody should follow that. Let's just see this. Okay. It was at line 6.
Line 6 and line 12.
Line 12. Okay, let me just try to print out new df dot head, and then we can pass 20, the first 20. Oh, I have noticed, I have just realized the problem that I had. Good. I think now it's good. I have dropped line 6, if you can see, and line 12. This is how we drop those lines. Is anybody having an issue so far? I think it should be like that. So we were at this point where we were dropping some is that point wrong data? Is it dropping wrong data? Yes, I think we were cleaning data of wrong format, and I think if you can let me just see if we have a data with the wrong format in our data set. I think you can just try to tamper with this data set a little bit. Where is that? Let me just try to tamper with this date. Yeah, you can also tamper with this, so that we can have at least one row with the wrong data format. Can hit save. Let me now try to rerun our code here. Have we saved the file? Control S. Let me just rerun this code. Data. Let me tamper with line. Let's see. Let me just tamper with line 9 and line 7. Then I can just control save that, and then try to rerun this code of ours here. Has anybody tried to type? I want to read this data set with this wrong data format. Don't know why it is not responding. Good. I think now it has responded. You can see that our line 5 has a wrong data format for the date. That is line number 5, and also line number, is it 7? Yeah, 7. So what I want us to do is that we can just try to correct that data format using these line of code here. You at this point, yeah, this line of code, we want to try to reformat that data. Let's just add this line of code just below here. You can just, yeah, here. Have I copied this one? You can just follow this as I copied. You can also copy, and then we try to correct this wrong data here. Of wrong data format. Excuse. We can just, let me just explain this line of code. In our case, we have a date column. So in the first place, we have our df, and the column that we want to correct its data format is the date part. And so what we do is just take our df, we will just use our df, the data that we have just read here. So we will take our pandas. Pandas has a function, an inbuilt function that is called to date time function, and inside that to date time, it will take a parameter of our df, and we want to set all the wrong data for data format for date to date time format. So we can I think with that we should just try to print out these. Let me just use the df date, yeah, so that we can see what we are going to have. We having an issue. And the error tells us that there is a value error, there is a correction of just a minute. I think you are supposed to print this one, to stringify this one. It should be df dot to string. Let's check this one out. again we have an issue. We have an error here. Time data 1202.022 does not match the format at position 5. Okay. This means that we cannot tamper with this data. We cannot tamper with this data set. That's why it's just giving us some wrong values there. But now we can just try to rerun this code. I think we should not get some issues. Let me just comment out this line of code. Yeah, I think we cannot tamper with that data set. I will look for another data set that will allow us to have some wrong data formats. So we can just move forward to the other part. I'll give you another data set that we are going to use for that case. So let's move forward to this part for replacing the values. So one way to fix the wrong values is to replace them with something else. I think we did this yesterday for those who were in class. Yeah, I think we did this, replacing replacing values. I think we did this where we were replacing the null values with 134, and I think something of the sort. So we can go to removing rows. I think also we have covered that just right now and also yesterday. The other part that I want us to check is removing duplicates. I think this is the part that we had left out. Removing some duplicates. Let's see if this data will allow us to have some duplicates. Let's see. We can just copy paste line 9 again, and again, so that we can have some duplicates here. Let's just save this. Let's just try to run our code to see if it will allow us to have some duplicates. I think it is allowing us. So we can just continue with our process of removing the duplicates. So the first thing is in this process is you discover the duplicates, and duplicates rows are rows that have been registered more than once, as you have seen in our dataset. I think line 9, the line 10, and 11, they have the same values. So these are the duplicates that I want us to remove for this example. And how we do that, we have a function again, an inbuilt function that is called duplicated, and this is the function that we are going to use for this process. So we are told that to discover the duplicates, we can use the duplicated method. The duplicate method returns Boolean values for each row. I think we can just copy this. Let's see if we are going to get a true here. we just print out. Let's use our new df. I think we should use this. Let's run this. Good. It always returns a false if we don't have each and every line. It tells us if a line is duplicated. So we are told that line one is not duplicated. I want us the lines that we have are just duplicated. So we can just do that by using our head function. Let's see this. We can just use our head to print out the first 20 rows. Good. I think with this, you can see that it returns true where we have duplicated our some lines. That is line 8 and line 9. They are duplicated. I think we can just get back to this data set. We are told that line 8 and 9, they are duplicated. So I think line 8 and line 8 is duplicated somewhere, and also line 9. Line 9 is duplicated also. So because we have line 9, 10, 11, they have same values. I don't know if you guys can locate where line 8 has been duplicated, but you can just check that. Let's just find this here. We are told that line 7 and no, line 8 and line 9. Let's check this. But I can see, do you have a duplicate for this? I don't know, maybe it's just within the data set. I cannot locate it, but for line 9, it is duplicated twice. That is line 10 and line 11. So let's just try to remove those duplicates. That is how, first of all, you check for duplicates. Then let's continue with this process. So by now removing the duplicates, to remove the duplicates, use the drop duplicates method. This is also an inbuilt function that we are going to use. This is the line of code that we use for that. I can just copy paste it just right below here. That is correction. We can just move here. Let's have a comment. Remove duplicates value. I think by now you can see the syntax of these methods, because now again we are just taking our data set. We can just pass this new df instead of the df here. We're just taking our new df and then we just invoke that is new df dot I have a dot here. We just use the variable name for the data that we have read, and then we just invoke that function. And then for this case, we have the in place, which is true. I think yesterday we learned about this and what it means. It simply means that we are just replacing, we are dropping the duplicates where in our data set we have the boolean for duplicate is true. So we can just, I think we can just print out these, and we can now see that we have no duplicate at the moment. Initially we had line 8 and 9. I think you can see that we have dropped those lines. So any question, guys? Any question with drop duplicates function? Um, any question or any person who is not able to follow? You can just raise up your hand, or just maybe you can just raise up your hand, or just unmute your mic to ask, or maybe any clarification that you want us to do. I think silence means that we are good to go. Emmanuel, are you able to follow how we remove duplicates? Emmanuel is good. What about Dar? Dar,
Yes.
are you able to remove your duplicate? Are you able to follow, or maybe use the function for removing duplicates?
Actually, no, because I joined late that way.
Okay, okay.
Maybe I will follow later.
Okay, okay.
This video.
Eric,
Yes.
good, good, good. I think everybody is able to follow, and so if you have any question about pandas, that is the end of our pandas content. That was a library for Python, and that marks our last part for pandas. But there are some stuffs that I want you guys to check on your own. The first thing that I want you to check is how we do plotting with pandas, and this pandas uses as another library called matplotlib to do some plotting. I don't know if we will have time to go through the matplotlib so that we can see how we do plotting. That is panda protein. I think I'll release, or I'll just give you the resources to do that, to read through. So the other part that I wanted us to check today is another library for Python that is called Numpy. I want us to go to Numpy now. Any person with a question regarding pandas? If there is no any question about pandas, we can just move forward to our lecture 6. In fact, this one is not lecture 6. I think it should be lecture 7 or 8. I think we have spent some few days on Pandas. It was quite a long library, but at least we have covered it. So we can just go to Numpy. So Numpy is a Python library used to work with arrays. We did cover what are arrays, and even we question.
So after maybe using pandas and analyzing your data or dropping duplicates, null values.
Yes.
So how do we take this data from Anaconda now to have it in a file, which will be clean data?
Or the saving of that file after you have removed the duplicates. I don't know if you have checked. I don't know if you have checked your data set after carrying out some. Let me just show you something. That was lecture 5. This is lecture 5. Now after you have dropped all these, let's say you have dropped these. So it's only that I don't want to get into plotting at the moment, but this will be now, it will be a continuous like process. So where we are going to have, how we analyze data using Python is not like you're using Excel. So coding is just will be a continuous process. So after now writing these lines of code, you will just continue again now to visualize your already clean data. So you will have after now you have visualized your data. That is when you will like have the head output of that is where you are going to be able to save the visualized data. These will not have a direct impact on maybe like after now we drop these, it reflects on the data set. No, we won't have that unless now we get into some other concepts in Python for saving data. It's quite a long process to learn again about files, but in your own time you can just run files in Python. You will know how to save data using Python, because that is again another concept on advanced Python, but we didn't go through that. But for these lectures, this one will be a continuous process, so you will just have to visualize now your data. That is where you are going to be able to save some charts after you have cleaned your data. I think that is clear. Any other question or maybe a clarification? Suma, is that clear? Suma?
It's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Yes, that is how we.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. That is how we do it. So this is now variable. This what is this? Uh, when you use this new df all through your now code, it will be a cleaned data set without duplicates or without in our case we have just removed the duplicates. You can maybe have dropped some null values. What we do is just assign these to a variable, and that variable will be used when drawing some graphs. I think we will see that if we will have time to do some plotting. I think that one was a good question. Yeah, but you can also go do some research on how to work with files in Python. So let's just go to lecture 6. So we were just checking what is NumPy, and NumPy just means NumPy means numbers in Python. For those who don't know what is NumPy, it just simply means that these are just numbers in Python. That is the full name for NumPy, but we use NumPy. The NumPy also has some functions to work for working in domain of linear algebra. There's some concepts we call the Fourier transforms, and also we have matrices. NumPy stands for numerical Python, and by numerical we mean numbers. So we'll just go direct to how we do the installation in your local machine. We use the pip. I think everybody now is familiar with the pip. This is the pip is what we used during the installation of any library in Python. So we just use pip install numpy. That is a command, and even I can just try it here so that just to demonstrate that I should be able to have my terminal here. So I think it's loading. Let's let me. Okay, this is how we go about this. I can just have pi hyphen just a minute. I want to set this one so that you can use that. We can use that command. As we wait for it to run that command, we can we just continue with how we import NumPy. It has no difference. It's just like pandas. And for this case, you will just see that we import NumPy as NP, as we were just importing pandas as PD. So in this case, we're just going to import NumPy as NM. We will see that soon. But for this case, we just have to, let's just run this code here. copy that. Let's just add a cell here. Control V. Get. So the first step is importing the numpy, and then we have our array. This one is what we call one-dimensional array. We will cover that in the lecture, but this is what we call a one-dimensional array. So we have our array here, and then is equals to numpy numpy dot our array function, and then we just pass in our array. We can just print out these, and we see the output. I think it is running. Oh, this one has finished. I can just get into this folder, and I can just do some okay. As we wait for this to run, let's just let me just show you how we execute that command. We just use the command prompt here. So we were saying that we do a pip install the numpy. As it executes, you can just give it some more time there to execute. We'll get back to that. This is how this is our final output here. I think we have just displayed our array using the print method. I think that is just simple. Let's just get into some concepts here with array with the numpy, I mean. I think we have just passed through that, importing the numpy, and then we have our array here. So the other part is that we used to import. I think I had said this. Numpy is usually imported at the NP alias, as we just show so with pandas. So alias in Python, alias are an alternate name for referring to the same thing. I think that is the best term to use, alias. So create an alias with the keyword. I think these are just these libraries. They have during the importation process is quite the same. You will see that even with matplotlib. So I don't think there is an issue with that. Importing numpy as numpy, then our array, then it's just a repetition. So let's just go to create a numpy nd object. Numpy is used to work with arrays, as we have seen. The array object in NumPy is called an ND array. So whatever you have seen here below is what we call the ND array. So we can create an NumPy ND array object by using the array function. We have the import again, NumPy as NP. We have array, and then is equals to now our NP dot array, and then we just pass in our array here. Again, we can just use the type function. I think everybody can remember this to check the type of this array. Let's just check this one very fast. Let's check this very fast. We just have the type. Oh, I have a typo. I think we can just check the type. You can see that this one is a numpy.nd array. This is of type nd array. This is an object. As you can see here below, I think this one has already started installing. So, but in my local machine now, this is how you just execute that command. So you just go into your terminal or maybe command prompt, and then just run these install NumPy. So I don't think any person should have issues with the installation of NumPy. I think that is that. We can just that is what we call an ND array. Yeah, that is that. To create an ND array, I think we have just seen that. We can pass a list or a tuple or any other array like object into the array method, and I think you can just try to pass a tuple. I think by now everybody knows what is a tuple. We did check that, and I think everybody knows how we define a tuple. So we're just going to pass a tuple here to create a NumPy array. So we're just going to have array is equals to np, and then our array function, and then what we're passing here is just a tuple. I think everybody can remember that tuple. We used to define the tuple using a parenthesis. And if you have any doubt, we can just copy that and paste it right below here. So that we can see if we get the same output. And we can just you can see we just have the same output. So if we pass a list here or a tuple, we're just going to form an ND array object. So I think that one has just cleared any doubts. We can just go to the other part of dimensions in arrays. And dimensions in array is a one level of depth. But so nested arrays are arrays that have arrays in their element. I think that is well understood. So let's just check the dimensions. So we have 0D arrays, and we just have a definition for that. It's called a 0D array or a scalar, and elements in an 0D arrays or scalars and are elements in an array. Each value in an array is a 0D array. We can just have an example of a 0D array with value 42, and this is just simply that an array is equals to np array, and then we just pass that value. So that is what we call a 0D array with a value. So we can have a 1D array. These are the most common basic arrays. We can just have an example. We have just to create one, and here it is. We just pass a list to make a one dimension. This D means dimension. So you notice that we have just passed a one just list. So with a two-dimension array, we will now pass two lists here. As you can just see, we have the first column and the second column here. So this is what we call, you can just continue and continue. We have even the 3D arrays. The 3D arrays, you can just see we have create a 3D array here. We are saying that an array that has a 2D array matrices as its elements is called a 3D array. These are often used to represent a third order tensor. This tensor is in machine learning, but for this case, I don't know. I don't think we are covering anything to do with machine learning. So this is a type of a 3D array. 3D array here. Again, we can just print the number of dimension. We just to check, we can copy this. Let's just copy this and check its dimensions. In fact, I have a very good example here. We can just use this one to check the array dimensions. Let's just control paste everything there, and then just uncomment on this. For A, we have a 0 dimension. B, we have 1 dimension array. For C, we have 2 dimension, and this one we have a 3D dimension. You can just print out this just to confirm. I think it's still loading. Oh, good. You can see right from here we have 0 dimension, 1 dimension, 2 dimension, and then we have 3 dimension. So you notice if we add another list here, let's just add that, and maybe even add another one, and then we just try to print out that, let's see. Oh, there is a, oh, I think I should be like, we have two, we have heading with the two here. Let's just try to rerun these. So how many braces? I think there is one we haven't closed. The requested array is in homogeneous shape after one dimension array. We have you notice that we have up to 3-dimension array here. We have up to 3 dimensions array. So I think that is all about the dimensions in the array, unless any person have a question or maybe needs a clarification before we go to the other part of array, and that one will be how to iterate arrays. Any question, or maybe someone who wants maybe a clarification? The floor is just open for you to ask any question concerning NumPy array up to this point. Any question? Let me just choose a random person here. Casey, do you have a question? I think today we have already in. We have already. Do you have a question? Let me see if Pirska, do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I'm following.
Okay. We have Mwema. Mwema, today you are so quiet. Are you able to follow up to that point?
It's me, Eric.
Okay. Oh, Eric. Okay. Oh, yeah.
I was just
So
saying
Mwema is Eric.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You repeat the process of PIP installation.
PIP installation.
Yes.
Okay. Any other question? Any other question up to that point? I need us to use the loops that we just learned. I don't know, was it last week? To iterate through arrays. That is the reason why I introduced you to loops first, so that we can use it. So I don't think there is another question. So let's just repeat that process of pip. Pip is a package in Python that is used to install libraries in Python. So if anybody asks you what is pip, is just is a package installer. It's called a package installer for Python. So how we do that? It depends with the editor you are using. For my case today, I'm using a VS Code, and for VS Code, we will just you just create a new terminal. A new terminal, or you can just go into your pip in your CMD. I think I'm also able to access my CMD, so I'll just use my CMD. I am able to access my CMD here from VS Code. So what you do, you just navigate to the folder that you want, to install that pip. To install that, I mean NumPy, and you'll just have to type pip install the library that you want. It can be Pandas, can be, for our case is NumPy, and then you just hit enter. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. But I think even you can see that my machine is in that the requirement already satisfied, because I have just installed it. So we can just move forward to how we iterate through arrays, or NumPy arrays, and we use a for loop. I think we learned for loop last week, and I'm supposed to be in lecture 6. Yeah, this is how you just, okay, let me just copy paste this code instead of writing it from scratch to save time. Let me just name these iterating in the arrays. It is very simple again, because you just have to define your NumPy, your ND array, and you just assign it to a variable. So that is np.array, and then we just pass our listing here. Or I think you guys noticed that we define the same, we define arrays is the way we define lists. So you should not be confused when I use list and arrays words interchangeably. So they just mean the same thing in Python, but you'll notice when you get into other language programming languages, we have a difference. So we'll just have for x in x is a variable in our case, and they explain this. So we'll just have for x in our array, and then we want to loop through these both of them. So we are going to have a nested for loop. So you're just going to have another for loop to check the y. So for y now, in again x, we just print that y. You can see we are just looping through 2 times the outer and the inner. For the first one, we are just looping through the array, and we assign those values to x, and then we just go in for now for another y. We loop now x, all the values again in x, and then you just try to print out. So this one will just print out all the values, all the values 1 up to 6. I think it's just that simple, unless if maybe someone have a question. You notice that things are getting easier as we go on. Any question?
Yes, James.
Yes, Victor, you can just ask.
I request that you may repeat the last
Or the last part
statement.
of iterative. This
The last part, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What we are doing here is that we are just looping the first we are just looping through the first part here of 1 up to 3, and then we need to loop through the okay. I can just let me just show you this. We have some values here. I think I should put them in. So we have 1, 2, 3. That is the first part of our array, and we have 4, 5, 6. Are we together up to that point? Okay. For those who have done matrix, this matrix is this one is it a 2 by 1, 2, 3? Is it a 3 by 2 or 2 by 3 matrix? I need person who have just maybe come across some matrices. Is this a 2?
2 by 3.
This one is a 2 by
2 by 3.
2 by 3. So
Yeah.
we have one row and second row, right? So that is, and this is the row is our, can we call it our, okay, that one might not make sense. But first of all, we are just going through the, let me just comment out these and try to print out the value of x. I think that will make more sense. So you can see that we have a 2 by 3 matrix, right? But what we want now, we have just displayed the 2 by 3 matrix here. But what we want is now the values inside these matrix of 1, 2 is 2 by 3 matrix. So meaning that we have to have a nested for loop here, so that now we can get into these values. So how we do that is now having another variable, now looping through now the inside. Now you're inside this matrix, so we'll just have to now loop through the numbers, and then we just print the y part. So the first loop is just looping through all the risks inside here to produce a 2 by 3 matrix, and then the second four will now get into those values and loop through the values, so that we can have these values now inside that nd array object. That is how we go about it. And I don't think there is any other question. On that is how we just loop through the matrices. There are some functions you are going to learn in the process that will help us loop through those matrices with much ease. So iterating now through a 3D array. That one was a 2D array matrix. Let's see how we iterate through a 3D array matrix. We are told that in a 3D array, it will go through all the 2D arrays. So, for example, I iterate on the elements of the following 3D matrix. We have an example here that is just going to return the actual values for the scalar. We have to iterate the array in each dimension. So for this we have seen it will just print out the matrix itself. I think we can just use this example again to see that we will just be able to see the matrix itself. Let's just drop that here. And then we want to print X, and then comment out this part here. Good. Yeah, you can see now we have these matrix, and this is matrix of we have 1 2 3 4. Is it 4 by 3 matrix? It's a 4 by, yeah, it's 4 by 3. The columns are the dimension. So you notice that if we have like 3 columns here, it means that you have 3 dimension. Let's see how we are going now to get the values. We are told that now to return the actual values, the scalars, that is these numbers now, the scalars, we have to iterate the array in each dimension. So how we do that is having we are going to have a nested for loops, and this time we are going to have three nested for loops, because we are moving we are iterating three 3 dimensions. So meaning we are just going to have three for loops. We can just try these. Let's see what happens if we just add these here. And maybe we try to yeah, good. So in the first again, it is the same concept that applies. We want to keep getting inner those inner and inner. I think at this point we are at the third. Can I call it the third? Is it not the third step, but let's see what it prints out. I think we have just I think this print should be at the end here, if I'm not wrong. Let's just see that. Good. Let's see this. You want to print out the scalars. For this matter, let's just have. We just need to print the value of x now. I mean the value of z. Yeah, that is it. So that is it. We just keep going in a deeper and deeper. The ND object. So we have the first step. We get into we get into this ND object. The second object, we are again reading we are able only to read the first the two dimension, and then to read the third dimension again we have to have the looping the third dimension. This is for the first dimension, the y is for the second dimension, and then we can just try to print out y. Let's just try to print out y and comment out these third dimension, and then we see what we are going to get. Yeah, good. At this point we are just able to we are just able now to get into these 4 by 3 matrix, and then for the last step is the one that is going to loop through all now the values. So that is the work of the third for loop. It will now loop in through all the values. So you can just comment on this one to get the scalars. Yeah, it's just that simple. It isn't something complicated. You can even try to maybe print out. Let's just try to print out x to see what you are going to get. So again, you are just able to get the 4 by 3 matrix, not the scalars. So to get into scalars, we have to get into the first dimension, second dimension, and then the third dimension we now look through the scalars. I guess that is that. The other thing that I wanted us to check, I think with the iteration we have just covered that, and I wanted us to there is an inbuilt function that is called nd iter. Iter is a short form for iterator, and this is the function that I want us to loop through the arrays. So we are told that the function nd iterator, I'll just use the iterator, is a helping function that can be used to from very basic to very advanced iteration. And I think by now you guys you should have noticed that these libraries and Python libraries, they have a lot of functions, and I wouldn't advise you to cram them all, but you just know that a certain function is used somewhere, so it's good to familiarize with them, but don't cram them. There are so many with these libraries, so you just know that there is maybe for iterating array we have the nd iter. For dropping some columns there is a function. For finding me, I think that is the way to go, not cramming everything. So let's just use the n iter function here. Iterating on each scalar element. So in basic for loops, iterating through each scalar of an array, we need to use n for loops, which can be difficult. Which can be difficult, and so we can just have an example. Iterate through the following nd array. So the process begins by importing numpy and having defined your array, and then we use now the nd iter. So in this case, you are not going to use many for loops, the nested for loops. You're just going to use one for loop, and then the n iter array. So you can see that we have now simplified our code. I think we can just let's just simplify this. So we can just delete. No, let's just add another cell, so that we cannot have a messy code. So using n iter code n iter, not n d iter, code n iter function to iterate through 3D array. So we can begin the process by an import of numpy is np, and the other part is defining our array. We are just going to use the same array here. Let's just let me just use this one here. and I like using variable names which are kind of descriptive. Let's just use it as a sample array. I think that makes sense. And now we can use for x in np dot we have that nd iter. I think it can show here, and then we pass in our array name, sample array, then a full colon. You just have to print x. I think by that we should be able to find the good. I think everybody can see this one is much simpler compared to using the nested for loop. Or you guys who choose to use the nested for loops, let me see those guys who choose to use the nested for loops. Any person who is I want to use the nested for loops, or let me see the guys who want to use the function. I can see Victor is saying that one is much simpler. Any other person who thinks that the nd iter is much simpler? Pitska? Which one do you use? Casey? Which one is much easier to you? You can just unmute your mic and maybe tell us. Casey? I'm talking to Casey. You can just unmute your mic and maybe tell us which one is easier, if you're able to unmute your mic. Or maybe any other person who think otherwise. Suma? Suma is quite fine with the iter. Any other person who thinks that iter, the nd iter is much easier?
Yeah, it is easy and clear even.
Yeah.
You can get.
Yeah, I think that is the way to go. I also choose this one because I hate writing a lot of codes. I think this one is much easier. So we can just go to the next part before we close our today's lecture. And the other part, let's just check. We have this part, iterating array with different data types. We can use the op d type argument and pass it the expected data types to change the data type of elements while iterating through them. So NumPy does not change the data type. Does not change the data type of the element in place where the element is in array. So it needs some other space to perform this. So we can just have an example iterate through the array as a string. So we have just this simple example here. We have an array here. We define our array, and then we have the for. So for x in np.neditor, then we pass in our array here. Then you can have some flags here to we can have some flags buffered, and then you have the OP D type here that we have said that we can use the argument OP DT type and pass it the expected data type. This one is used while using maybe different data types. Let's say string and the other data types that we used. So you can just try that at your free time. I shared these, and you can also read through these, the filtering, and also enumerated iteration. These things are just they are covered in the notes that I just sent. And you notice that they are just they are kind of we are just repeating what we have been doing all through. So you should cover that. Yeah, and that marks our today's the end of our today's lecture. And still there are some people who have not yet submitted their assignment. IIS assignment. I want just to let you know that those assignments, they will be used to grade you, and therefore you should make a point of submitting today. Maybe today I'll set the this week assignment, which again should be submitted by Sunday. And that one will be our second assignment. Again, it will be out of 15, and then our project will be out of 60 to make, or will be out of 70, I mean, to make it 100 marks. Yeah, I think that is it. Any person with a question? So on Monday we will introduce to ourselves to some new concept. I just realized that we covered data cleaning, which was supposed to be covered next week. So we will just introduce ourselves to some new concept. We'll do data visualization of data. We'll do some data wrangling. Yeah, next week is will be a good week of learning new concepts. So any person with a question, or maybe someone who needs a clarification before we end our today's lecture. Any question?
I got a question, which means, so you said like there are those who have not submitted the assignment, the initial assignment, or there was another assignment?
That is the assignment that I gave. Is it last week on Friday?
Oh, okay. So which means there was no revision of that.
We cannot revise. We cannot revise that until the other guys who had some reasons, like submit
Okay.
the assignment. But
Okay.
on Monday we will just pass through those assignments.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, on Monday we will pass through those assignments. Any other question or maybe a clarification? Pashamai, just feel free to ask your question. And unmute. Pashamai, we are waiting for you. Pashamai, you raise up your hand. Or you will just inbox me. So you guys have a good weekend. We will meet on Monday, and also have a good night. Yeah, you keep practicing.
Thank you.
Yes, bye.
Tomorrow there is no class.
I usually have our classes from Monday to Thursdays. Last week we did have our class on Friday.
On Friday.
It was a
Yeah.
makeup. It was a makeup class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.